Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a ongoing series that I'm going to be doing, looking at styles of character cards, looking at years of character cards, looking at full collection sets, and what you should really know about the sets, some of the rarer cards, some of the more common cards, basically everything you need to know about character cards to collect them effectively and to know the things to look out for. Firstly, I mentioned all these cards are uploaded to the Thomas Wooden Railway database, which I will link below. But I'll go over a little bit of housekeeping regarding our classification systems in the character card database now. Firstly, the titles. Now, all character cards are referred to by a specific string, alright? And it's pretty much the same for every character card. We start off with the SKU number, which for Thomas is 99001. Then we provide the name that is provided on the card. Now for some cards, this means that the obverse and the reverse, which I'll get to in a second, will have different titles. They'll also have some different titles for different years. Thomas the Tank Engine, which is what this card refers to the character as, is the full title of the character, but most future character cards will just refer to him as Thomas. But we basically use the information on the card, not a simplification of the information on the card. Obverse, reverse refers to the front or the back, obverse being the front of the card, reverse being the rear of the card. After that is the denotion. This means, is it a style, is it a year, is it an international? So a style 1 or an S1 is what we refer to as the first gen. An S1I would be a style 1 card international. A 99 card would be a 99 card. A 99I would be a 99 international, and so on. Also below in the spreadsheet, which you'll find at the bottom of this list, is the person who provided the scan for the card, or where the scan was sourced from. Take, for instance, I scan in TWR Ryan 86's cards, but because he's the source of the card, he's linked as the person who provided the card. This is partly because it provides authorship of the cards, like to give you an idea of who owns them, as well as if there is additional information we need about that specific card, we can turn to that person who's able to provide that additional information and additional pictures if need be. This will come in handy more later when we start talking about thick and thin cards, but for now, it's mainly just a nice feature to have. You also have the quality of the scan/card. Some scans, for instance, will be very high quality, but because the card is a little crappier, it'll get knocked down. We have a simple classification system for these. Great, good, I think it's great, good, fair, poor, and if it's not applicable, and if it's void, that means we don't have the card. For the most part, we're trying to stick to great or good card scans, but we will dip below if we need to for some really quite rare cards. That's enough babbling from me. Let's begin. First character off the rank, Thomas the Tank Engine. Isn't a lot to say about this one, although this is one of the high quality scans, and to give you an idea of the quality of these scans, you can really zoom in and still maintain a lot of that detail. They're actually really good for getting good scans of the promo shots of these characters. Next up is Edward. Some of these will take a second to load. They all are all high quality scans, but some of them are, but because of the way that this video is going, I'm just going through the database, some of these might come up a little bit low quality at first. Again, Edward the Blue Engine. Henry the Green Engine. Again, the level of detail we were able to achieve on some of these cards is honestly very impressive. Some of these, if you see like some errors, that's not errors on behalf of the scanner, that's errors on behalf of the card. I mean, something that they really seem to struggle with this logo was getting the text to line up properly. You'll see on this one, Thomas, the Tank Engine and Friends, the text is misaligned, but on others, it's not misaligned. I mean, on this Henry, you can see they got it a bit closer. It's a bit inconsistent, but that's just sort of how it goes with these cards. You can really tell they were just still trying to figure it out. Good old Percy the Small Engine. always found it interesting how the promo shots were never quite the same. I mean, these are all very clearly Gen 2 92s. But then this Toby, for some reason, is I think that's a 96. No, 95, judging by the magnet. Bertie DeBus. Donald. I love how with some of these you can really tell it's stickers from the scans. It's just really painfully obvious. Just got to chuck my phone on charge, I think. Douglas the Scottish Twin. Okay, now Annie's the first character where it's a bit odd. You'll see that on some of these cards I've actually sort of added comments. That's because there's a bit of a weird thing going on. So this card here is a 99 Annie. If you click on the comment, it comes up with this. It's a little fun thing. Basically, it's me going over that this Annie is a confirmed variant. If we X out of that. Let me X out. Okay. So basically, some of these cards will have some additional information provided via just little comments. So this Annie is a 99. Now, this is one of the few characters that change from 99 to 2000. The 99s, for some reason, are blurry. This is not actually an error on behalf of the scanner. They are seriously just blurry in real life. It's really weird. It's one of the few cards where they messed it up really, really badly. Compare that to this, which is a 2000. Which is one of the lower quality scans. But you can see that the Annie is very much far more, I guess, it's not as pixelated. It's a really odd error. Clarabelle doesn't have this problem. Again, interesting. I think Annie, is Annie a 90? Is a 90? I don't know. I love how the Clarabelle, even when it's on the scan, and the black's even peeling off on this one. It's really weird. Good old Diesel. Okay, Bill and Ben are just suck. Look, let's be honest. They're some of the hardest 99 2000 cards to find. Not because they're just obscure. They're really actually one of the harder character card pairings to find, period. The 2001s aren't exactly that common either. We're not entirely sure why. I think it might just because they were only individual releases, which you'll find that just makes them a little bit scarcer. But yeah, this is one of the lower. This isn't even a scan; it's just a picture, but it's the best one I could find of a Bill card. And to give you an idea of how fucked this is, I don't have it. TWR Ryan doesn't have it, and D7101 Studios doesn't have it. From what I know, we're the three biggest Wooden Railway character card collectors. So if none of us have a card, it says a lot about that card's rarity. Ben, yeah, another harder card to find. I have this one. I think maybe TWR Ryan does, but not a lot of us. It's another scarce one. Duck just takes the biscuit for being just the dumbest title. It's one of the reasons why if you go to the spreadsheet below, the section where the names are is really big, simply because we have Duck, the Great Western Pannier Tank Engine. I don't have this card yet. I really want it though. It's just a meme. Harold, the helicopter. You see also they just couldn't get the alignment right. Look at the amount of space above that Harold, above the top of the border. Terrence, I would say actually is one of the really sleeper rare cards. He was one of the few cards that had a Style 1 and a Style 2 version. I think actually currently the only character that had a Style 1 and Style 2. The Style 1 is pretty damn hard to find. Style 2 is somewhat more common. I've seen a couple, but either way, really, really rare card. Kind of one that just flies under the radar. Troublesome Truck. Got the white face on the front. Interestingly, this is just a stick. It's really obvious this is a sticker. And it's really, again, love the quality of these scans because you can tell this truck has wear. It's really odd that they use that for the promo image. Mavis, again, you can tell that the Farquhar Quarry on the side, you can tell these are stickers. It's really, really quite cool having these kind of scans. Bit of a jump in SKU here. You jump from about 99024 or 025 to 99050. Which is just because that's the way it's weird. There's just a lot of characters that just sort of dropped off. You do end up filling these SKUs if you're doing a full collection, because you do get them in like 06, 07. I think Molly's one, Neville's one, Dennis is one. Not Dennis. Lights and Sounds Thomas was one. That fill in a lot of these gaps for the first 100. For the first 100 cards. Or I should say the first 100 SKUs. Another sleeper rare card. Not as rare as some of the other ones, but kind of hard to find. Yeah, you tell the Timothy Milk, so you can tell it's a sticker. Yeah, look, Rusty. Rusty's a pretty rare one. 99 and 2000s exists for this one, but definitely one of the scarcer cards. I think this is Ryan's. I think there's one on the wiki too, but yeah, you just don't see it. This is one of those cases where there were two scans of this card. There's this one, which is mine, which has got creases which is fairly creased, which isn't great. It was D7-101s, and that one was a bit of a lower quality scan. I'm not bashing the low quality scans of anyone. I'm really appreciative for every single scan we get. But it's hard. It's really hard to sort of figure out that trade-off in some cases. Typically, I tend to go for higher scan quality unless the card is really shot. Some of these narrow gauge engines, I mean, we're sort of in there now. These are some of the harder ones to find. They seem to be more obscure than they are rare, though. I think we're coming up on one that's fairly hard too, actually, in a minute. Coley's somewhat harder to find. D199 is actually a pretty scarce card. Not one you see a lot. Definitely one of the rarer ones. Stepney, look, Stepney's a sleeper one as well. Somewhat harder to find. I mean, we only have a picture of it, but it feels like it should be a card that we have a scan of. But weirdly, none of us have it. It's just one of those weird cards where you'd think we would, but we don't. Scruffy, yeah. Circus Train, another one that's kind of hard to find. I think I don't have it, and Ryan doesn't have it. This is just D7-101 scan. Definitely a scarcer card. Alright, now we're starting to get up there. The Total Mail Coach was only sold in a set. I think it was the Roundhouse set. This is a pretty rare card. I missed out on a chance to get one fairly cheap, and I was livid. It's just impossible to find. Again, another one you think we'd have, Rheneas, but no, none of us have it. Pretty hard to find card again. Just obscure. This is actually a fairly scarce one. I think I might be the only one who has it. Maybe D7-101 does. Just again, the narrow gauge characters, weirdly hard to find cards for some reason. Again, so Handle. Another one with D7-101. Only one of us who has it. This version of Fred's somewhat harder to find, but definitely, I think that's mainly because there's so many of the 01s that it just makes this look rarer by comparison. But really, it's not that uncommon. Need I say anything? A to J to Mabel. Look, this is the holy grail of the Series 1 set. This and the Mail Coach, top, which are pretty up there in terms of really rare character cards. You do not find them. Simply put, you do not find them. D7-101 has this one. TWR Ryan 86 has this one. I don't know if I will. It's just... Again, Edge of Mabel was pretty rare to find in 99 period, so finding a 99 set's really hard. Finding one with a card is downright impossible. Another harder to find one, although the 2001 of this one is far rarer. Basota China Clay, again, not one you see. Fairly common. If I didn't say anything for any of the previous cards too, that's because there's not really anything to say. They're just kind of just common. somewhat harder to find. Pretty rare. Duncan in the 99 2000 and the 01 are really hard cards to find. For some reason, just not one you see a lot. And there's no real rhyme or reason. It just doesn't really exist that much. Toad, harder one, but again, the 01 is probably a bit scarcer. The Diesel, yeah, look, about the same scarcity for both. Express, not a ton to say there. Probably a somewhat harder card to find. I just picked this one up. This isn't my scan, this is TWR Ryan, but again, harder card to find. Like this one and one more we'll get to are mainly just more expensive. Neil's fairly common card again. Fairly common. Again, Flying Scotsman and the Soto Railway Repair, they're just expensive. They're not necessarily rare. They're desirable. That's what it mostly comes down to. Although for both, I think your 01s, they're going to take the biscuit. Honestly, they take the biscuit for being really quite rare. Not a little bit harder to find. I mean, it's just the Sawmill log car's harder to find. So it kind of goes hand in hand. Cargo car, fairly common. This is a fairly rare card. Although most people have it because they have the set. And that's it. And we'll just pull up the sheets just to give you all an idea. So we have, again, the way that this works, you have the credits, the character, and the SKU. There are in total 58 cards for 58? 57 cards. Why did I say 59? So I don't know why I said 59 at the bottom. I got to fix that. But there are 57 cards in this series. And you see that we've actually only got 3 really poor examples. Where we don't have like a straight on angle. You see it's mostly dominated by me, TWR Ryan 86 and D7 101. But there are a couple that we've managed to get from other places, mostly WorthPoint, eBay. But yeah. I guess final remarks on the Style 1 cards. Look, they're both the easiest and hardest series. They're the least amount of cards to collect. You've got 2 years to collect them over. Unless you want to be specific on a year. And look. They're easy up until you start running into the narrow gauge, which makes them a bit harder. And then when you run into the Ada Jade and Mail Coach, that's when they get really, really impossible. It's a set that's easy to start, but hard to finish. But definitely would be very fulfilling. I don't know if none of us have a full set of S1s. So I think it'd be interesting to see who gets there first. Because I've really started to rack these up. But anyway, that's Series 1. So thank you all for watching. And bye for now.